You guys, this is a reply that I got back from Zach George a while ago when I told him, look, I'm going to debunk science-based dog training. I don't know how it comes across to you, but to me, it's coming across as a little smug. And honestly, I had hoped that this wasn't going to be a Yahoo Google moment, but because it is, like Melanie at K9 Decoded says, let's de-douchefy some science-based dog training. Now, if you watch this video to the end, you'll have a real clear understanding of why science-based dog training is completely irrelevant when it comes to you and your dog. You see, your experiences shape the decisions that you make and make you the person that you are. If you are somebody that believes in modern methods and science-based dog training, your belief makes you 100% correct. Now, if you are someone that believes dogs need a correction and science-based dog training is just a bunch of bullshit, again, your belief, what you believe, you are 100% correct. So for those of you out there who have spent a lot of money and the hard work that you've put into science-based dog training, why are you still struggling? Let me explain the non-scientific reason why you're not getting the sustainable results that you were hoping for and that the science-based dog training community promised you. So first, science-based dog training at its core doesn't have a clear definition of what it is or how it actually works. It's this weird, arbitrary amalgamation of different ideas and information based on whatever the trainer is utilizing in that moment that might be working. The second issue, and honestly, it's why we have such a problem within the dog training industry. You have science-based dog trainers that are arguing the science, when in reality, science literally plays no role when you establish a new relationship with a human or a dog. Now, I want you to let that sink in. When you establish a new relationship, science literally plays no role. This is a feeling out process, not a scientific process. Not to mention that the first interaction that you have with the dog is where 99% of all bad behaviors are actually created. Think about it logically. If you meet someone for the first time, would you say something like, no, I really got some good science from that person? No, you would say, I really got a good feeling from that person. So can science tell you if you're gonna like someone or not? No, that's a feeling that you have. Can science tell you if the person that you just met is going to respect you or not? No, it can't. So when it comes to understanding science, it's really critical because science is about information. It's about factual data, things that can be measured, like cortisol, heart rate, dopamine, things that are facts. So when it comes to you and your dog, science can tell us everything about what is happening, but science will never be able to tell us why it's happening. Here's an extremely basic relationship analogy for dog owners to grasp. In science, you would create a hypothesis, and you could just Google what is a hypothesis. A hypothesis is a statement or a prediction. Think of it as like a mental checklist when looking for a dog. We want a particular breed, we want a particular color, we want a particular size. Some cases we want a particular age. But we also do this when we are looking for a partner. If you're out in the dating world, that mental checklist might look a little something like, I want him to be 6 feet tall. I want him to have no tattoos. I want him to have no kids. I'm 24, so I want him to be around my age. I want him to be in pretty good health. I take care of myself, so I want him to be healthy. I want him to be financially stable. Simple, basic hypothesis. So how would this get tested? Now, this would fall under ethology. This person would go out to social gatherings and they would be observed interacting with people with those particular 5 characteristics that I've mentioned. Now, science would then further confirm this by putting this person into a CAT scan and showing them pictures of, again, people with those 5 particular characteristics. Now, if you don't know, this research has been done with dogs where they are put into a CAT scan and they are presented with smells of their owner as well as shown pictures of the owner. And in both cases, the prefrontal cortex is lighting up. We are able to measure high levels of dopamine. Science would deem this successful data, successful information. We got it, or do we? Now, what science will never be able to explain is, despite that successful data, despite the prefrontal cortex lighting up like a Christmas tree and high levels of dopamine when this person in the CAT scan is shown pictures of people with, again, those 5 characteristics, why did this person end up falling in love and marrying a guy who is 5'5", maybe has tattoos all over his neck, has 3 kids, is 30 years her senior, who is completely out of shape and is living on his friend's couch? My question is, did science actually help in this situation? Put your comments below. Now, this is where it really gets good and why science is literally irrelevant. When it comes to the dog, despite the prefrontal cortex lighting up and high levels of dopamine that they measured, and the good emotional response while the dog is in the CAT scan being shown and presented with smells and pictures of their owner, why is that same dog growling and biting the owner? So this is a text message that I got a few days ago. These are loving, caring dog owners. But why is the dog biting the wife? When I spoke to her, she basically said that they have been nothing but loving and affectionate to this dog for the last 1.5 years that they've had him. When it comes to a dog biting the owner, this is a relationship issue based on a lack of respect. Now, if you had a partner who was being disrespectful, would you go to a therapist or would you go to a scientist? And let me just be extremely clear. If you have a dog with a behavioral issue, that is a relationship problem, not a training problem. Science plays no role in fixing it. The experience that these loving dog owners are facing, Zach George would call it anecdotal. Unfortunately, what Zach George doesn't understand is loving dog owners in this position that are struggling, anecdotal evidence is their reality, and science has nothing to do with that. Look, if you are someone who really wants to get rid of problematic dog training within the industry, and you understand it's 100% about the dog and not necessarily the method or the title that you hold, you just want to help dog owners have a good relationship with their dog, follow me on social media and I'll see you in the next video.